10 minutes to 10 o'clock. Good morning. My name is Sarah Vidumisho with the news on Galaxy FM. Security forces have been infiltrated by criminals, a scenario that is putting so many at risk, President Yoweri Museveni has said. Museveni said most of the criminals connive with personnel in the Criminal Investigations Department, that is CID, to kill evidence and threaten witnesses. He was speaking at the home of the slain Assistant Inspector General of Police Andrew Felix Kaweesi in Kulambiro, a Kampala suburb, last evening. He tasked the IGP, General Kale Kihura, to clean up the force. He added that people who have lost trust in security forces and most prefer to talk to the president in person to working with the system. He said the situation is contributing to a rise in organized crime. The president also accused public servants of holding government at ransom by demanding salary increment. This, he said, has frustrated government attempts to work out its priorities. At Kaweesi's home, Museveni further noted that the wage bill has exceeded 4 trillion shillings, yet government needs about 400 billion shillings to install cameras in major towns along main roads. He reiterated that he will not allow undisciplined public servants to frustrate his order to have cameras installed with their salary hike demands. With availability of cameras, Museveni urged that investigations become easy because all motorcyclists will be tracked. Kaweesi was killed last week by unknown assailants outside his home in Kulambiro alongside his driver and bodyguard. The two, that is the driver and bodyguard, will be buried today Monday, while a requiem mass is being held at Ruvaga Cathedral this morning for Kaweesi, whose burial is tomorrow, Tuesday, in Lwengo district. One of Uganda's representatives to Yala, Fred Mukasambide, has laughed at the move by police to use sketch pictures of suspected assailants who killed IGP Andrew Felix Kaweesi to arrest them. Bide says the move will not yield any result and has only displayed the force's helplessness in solving this crime. He adds that the killers need to be captured and explain why they murdered the police mouthpiece in such a cold manner.
This is a mishmash of a lot of things. By the way, this is also a pointer towards a lot of possibility. If one is to wage a guerrilla warfare against Uganda, they feel extremely energized. These are pointers to what is possible. If a man with guns can be gunned down and the situation begins to print posters of who is likely to have been the assailant, you see, for me, this becomes again laughing. You have seen what has happened, and I thought it was social media gimmicks of the possibilities of the posters of persons on wanted list pursuant to the death of a father. But when I went to Kira police, I saw one pinned there. That's when I discovered they are saying actually the person who did it is that person whose picture appears extremely obliterated, blurred, and it is not a replica of a human being. So for me, I think this is a display of helplessness. Afande Kaweesi, it must be discovered who killed him, or at least why.
Meanwhile, private investigator Fred Egesa says leaders and the president, as well as the entire country, should not rush to judge the Criminal Investigations Department officers for such deaths, as they also work under too much pressure and threats, especially from government and parliament.
Much has been said, and I will say that what has not been said is the way forward, how we are going to move. Because now we are saying that it's not only the government, it is the business of every Ugandan to see that we secure our country and we secure our own selves and our own families. So what I'm saying is that let's not harshly and maybe hurriedly blame the CID. Let's try to understand under what circumstances the CIDs work. They work under very terrible conditions. There's a lot of situations, especially from parliament. You find that everybody gives commands, and if you don't obey commands, you may find yourself even on Katebe.
May the souls of the deceased rest in eternal peace. Now, a new forum to improve the lives of young adolescent girls in Uganda has been launched thanks to efforts by the United Nations Children's Fund and the Office of the First Lady, Janet Kataha Museveni. Codenamed the Parliamentary Advocacy Platform for Adults and Girls, the forum will bring together legislators working in the interest of promoting education, health and gender issues, to promote access to justice, advocate for youth-friendly legislation, and combat school-related gender-based violence. Bukuya County MP Dr. Michael Kenya says the platform plans to influence national and local budgets and policies to promote menstrual hygiene in schools and to advocate keeping girls in school by promoting both upstream and downstream take action. It will also seek to eliminate forced and early child marriages.
We therefore ask that perpetrators of violence be dealt with effectively. The deregistration of teachers that defile these children be enforced.
Education Minister Janet Katara Museveni called upon all stakeholders to teach adolescent girls how to fight for themselves and for what they want.
No matter how much we want to help these girls, we will not change anything until we help them to know how to fight for themselves.
Now, the police have confirmed the death of 3 men on Lake Victoria in Mayuge district. The fishermen drowned after their boat capsized at around 4 a.m. on Saturday morning. James Mubi, the Usoga East police spokesperson, identifies the dead as Idrissa Kapio, Augustine Ochuo, and Ali Musisi, all residents of Malongo sub-county in Mayuge district. According to police, the 3 drowned after their small boat, locally known as Bao Tatu, capsized after hitting a rock in Lake Victoria. Police retrieved the bodies of the fishermen and handed them over to Mayuge Hospital mortuary for post-mortem. Mubi has urged fishermen and residents to avoid venturing into the lake without life jackets. He also cautioned the fishermen against using small boats, which are likely to be hit by strong waves. Boat accidents are common in Mayuge district. And also, Syrian security forces have engaged in fierce clashes with the rebels in the eastern outskirts of Damascus. Artillery shells and rockets landed in the heart of the capital as part of a surprise rebel attack launched in the Jobar district. The assault began early on Sunday with car bombs and suicide attacks, activists said. State media said secret tunnels were also used. The military says it managed to push the rebels back. Government warplanes launched more than 30 airstrikes on rebel positions, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a group of activists who are monitoring the conflict in Syria. A very good morning. That's all we had for you.